Back here on Radio Row, inside the Mall of America. It's the Zach Gelb Show right here on Fox Sports 920 The Jersey. And we bring a New York football giant onto the set, our first one of the week, I actually believe, and that's hard to believe, and it's Devon Kennard who joins us right now. Devon, how are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. So, Pat Shurmur, new coach. You have a new defensive coordinator as well. What has the communication been like with the new coach and the new defensive coordinator?
It's off season. There hasn't been much, and I'm going into free agency. So, I probably won't be hearing from them until, they're ready to send some type of offer.
Do you want to return to the New York Football
I would love
Giants?
to. It's the organization that drafted me. I believe in what they're about from ownership down, and I would love the opportunity to stay. But business is business, so we'll see what the situation's looking like.
As they used to say in the Jerry Maguire movie, they got to show you the money. All right,
right, absolutely.
So this year was a very difficult one. Many people would have thought the Giants going into this year would still be playing football, and this was a potential Super Bowl team. That wasn't the case. When you look back and you reflect on what happened this year, what do you chalk it up to and why you guys weren't capable of reaching your goals?
I think it ultimately comes down to we never played a complete game. We might play really good defensively, but the offense didn't play well. Or we played good on offense and special teams, but the defense played horrible. To win in this league, you got to play good all-around football as a team, and we always shot ourselves in the foot somehow, whether it was offense, defense, or special teams. And then there are some games where it was both.
The personality in the locker room, when you're dealing with a team that was supposed to be very good and they ended up not being that, there's going to be frustration. You're going to have guys that are annoyed, and many people labeled a lot of members of the Giants team quitters. Did you see that going on in your locker room, guys not giving the max effort?
I don't know if I saw quitters, but you definitely saw it affect people differently. Losing isn't easy. It's easy to be who you say you're going to be when you're winning and when things are going good. But when things are going hard, your true character is kind of shown, and guys weren't as consistent as they could have been. And I think that's a part of why we had such a bad year.
What's your relationship like with Eli Apple?
I have a good relationship with him. A teammate of mine and a younger guy. So when I get a chance, I talk to him. But it's not somebody I'm really close with.
Do you think he continues to have a future here with the Giants? I know a lot happened with him and Landon Collins. It all played out publicly in the media. Does he still have a future with the Giants, Eli?
I think so. He's a talented kid, and you can't write him off for 1 year. He dealt with some things personally. I don't know what it was exactly, but I'm confident he's going to come back and bounce back from that and be the player that he's capable of being.
Talking to Devon Kennard right now on Radio Row, Super Bowl 52 between the Pats and the Eagles. Odell Beckham Jr., I got a chance to do an event with Odell Beckham Jr., and I was blown away how kind he was, because you hear all these things about Odell.
Right.
He did an event with kids. He was talking to every kid, taking every selfie, kids showing up with the blonde streak in their hair,
right,
and all that. What's the Odell Beckham that you know? Because I feel like he gets characterized in a way that's sometimes unfairly, but there is a part of Odell that does need to grow up, and he needs to get that message on what it's like to be a professional.
I think he's the ultimate competitor, and when I'm playing with somebody like that, then that's something I respect. Somebody who wants to go out and win, who's laying it on his line for his teammates, and he goes out there and competes day in and day out, and he wants to be the best. So, I could rock with that any day of the week. Sure, you can say there's some things he needs to control or whatever, but the dude is passionate. Like, we came in together coming out of the draft and built a good relationship, and I'm a full supporter of Odell. We got to pay him.
And with that being said, because the way you just described it, it's not viewed as a distraction in your opinion, and we know how big of a piece he is on that offense. Why do you think then people label him as a distraction player? If you're telling me, hey, you're going to ride or die with that guy.
Because some of the things that go on during the games where you can or you can try to label him that way. And sure, like some of the penalties he's gotten, when he has played and stuff, he has to calm some of that down. But that's the only thing that I would say, like do what you do, but don't hurt the team. You know what I mean? And I think that's an easy fix for him moving forward. I don't think that's going to be a big issue for him. And he's a great player.
Describe what it was like to play for Ben McAdoo this past year.
It was hard, everybody was against Ben, and they weren't really saying that when we were 10-6 and things were going well. I don't think it was all his fault. I'm a person who you got to look at yourself in the mirror first, and especially when I look at our defense, we're expecting a lot more from our defense this year, and we didn't deliver how we should have. And if we would have, maybe we would have been we would have much more wins, and it would have been a much better situation. So, and he doesn't, and he wasn't the D coordinator. He's not, you know what I mean? So he wasn't controlling the defense. So, like when people are quick to point a finger at him, obviously he's the head coach, so he's going to take the brunt of it. But I like to look at what I can control, and we didn't play well enough on D.
Did he have control of the locker room?
I felt like he did, but there was things that happened to where you're like, all right, that shouldn't be going on.
Because just being honest, it looks like from an outside perspective, I'm not in the locker room like you, it looked like to me that he did not have control of the locker room.
Right, and I definitely understand that perspective and see where that's coming from. And I don't know, maybe he didn't. Maybe guys thought they could go rogue. I think some of the things that happened were more so like frustrations from guys and guys doing things out of character more than and I think that's a testament more than he quote unquote lost control. But I don't know.
What's mind-boggling to me is because I thought you guys were going to have a really good year, but the one thing I had a concern about was, and I picked you guys to go to the NFC Championship game before the year started. I was clearly wrong about that. But I thought your offensive line was the one question mark. And I don't get how Jerry Reese did not try to address that in last offseason.
That's something you'd have to ask Reese. I'm not sure.
With Eli Manning, though, since you're in the locker room with him, do you think Eli still has good football left in him?
Oh, absolutely. Definitely need some help. Get him an offensive line and some skill around him. And we got to play better on defense. But Eli can make every throw, and he could lead us to a championship like he's done before.
So obviously I didn't realize you were a free agent as we're talking to Devon Kennard right now. If you had to make the pitch, tell me a little bit more about Devon and why a team needs to give you a lot of years and a lot of money.
I can play in any scheme. I'm an outside linebacker. I play great on the line of scrimmage. I've shown pass rush ability, but haven't always had the opportunity to rush as much as I'd like to. Given a role where I can do that more, I can excel at that. But I've played true linebacker where I'm in coverage and I'm a part of coverage a lot, and I've been successful in that as well. So if you're looking for a player who can you can mold into a lot of different roles and do a lot of different things and pick up the defense very fast, I'm your guy.
Do you think this Giant team and what they are, they could be a quick fix and they could turn around? Because the league changes from year to year, as you know it.
Oh, absolutely. I think many of the games we lost, we're one play away from winning or one mistake away from winning, and I think it's going to be an easy turnaround.
This team, you played the Eagles twice this year, and at the end of the year, you guys were able to score a lot of points, your Giants team, up against that defense. A lot of teams have not been able to do this year. When you look at this matchup and you game planned up against Philadelphia with Nick Foles and then also without Nick Foles when Carson Wentz was in, tell me what you look at on film when you're breaking down Nick Foles.
Well, with Carson Wentz, I would like to call him Houdini.
Right.
He was out there.
Unbelievable.
He was out there like it's kind of a mix. Kind of reminds me of like Andrew Luck-ish, like as far as how he can move around in the pocket and how he's a hard tackle. I know the first game I had one sack on him, but I could have had another one, and he juked me when I was coming out of coverage and coming to tackle him. So he's a great player. But with Nick Foles, they did a good job adapting their offense to his skill set more or less, and he's effective. But going into this game against the Patriots, I would say Nick Foles is going to have to make some big plays. When Tom Brady's been in the Super Bowl, it's taken Eli Manning making some monster plays to
Manningham
to overthrow Tom Brady, and I think it's going to be the same thing. It's going to come down to Philadelphia's pass rush, and then even with a good pass rush, Nick Foles is going to have to make some plays for that team.
I know everyone's getting caught up in the Eagles pass rush because we know how dominant they are, but the Patriots had a good game up against Tennessee, then they couldn't really get pressure on Bortles until late up against Jacksonville. What are the Patriots going to have to do going up against a very good offensive line, as you know, that the Eagles have?
Well, I would say the Patriots overall haven't had a great year defensively, but you look at late in the season and in the playoffs,
they don't let teams score,
and they've been one of the better one of the better teams, and they've been playing really good football. So, like, you can go and throw those numbers up, saying they're
Belichick says it all the time. Stats are for losers. That's what he says.
Yeah, so what have they done? What have they done lately? What are they doing right now? And I think they're playing really great ball defensively right now. and they're gonna have their hands full. There's a lot of weapons in Philly. But if they can put some pressure on Foles, one thing they're going to have to address is the RPOs, the run pass option.
Killer.
Like that seems to be Nick Foles' bread and butter. He's getting a lot of those slants in the slot from the two receiver and throwing in some pretty tight windows with the run option. And if the linebackers dropping in coverage too fast, he's handing it off and getting some good runs with Jay Ajayi and Blunt. So it's definitely going to pose an issue for them.
Who wins the game?
I'm not betting against Tom Brady.
Fair enough. What is it like for you? Because being a younger guy in this league, Tom Brady, one of the older players in this league, and he's been dominant since 2001, won 3 Super Bowls in 4 years, and now they're looking all these years later to win 3 Super Bowls in 4 years again.
It's remarkable what he's accomplished, and he's definitely the greatest quarterback ever, the greatest football player I've ever witnessed myself, and what he's done is really astonishing.
Now, we have a lot of fans in the Jersey market. You know how it is. North Jersey, Giants. South Jersey, Eagles. Central Jersey, it's a mix. And we're in that Central Jersey, South Jersey type of area right now. Would you ever want to consider playing for the Philadelphia Eagles?
If that's one of the teams that really wanted me and really wanted to push for me, then it's definitely something I have to consider. But until that happens, it's go Giants.
Well, what's your communication like with your Giants teammates right now? Because you're in that period right now that you're thinking about your future, but you can't do anything right now to determine where you're going to play. So what's communication like with your teammates right now? Is there a lot?
Well, everybody's doing their own thing. It's off season, but I have friends on the team. So the guys that I'm friends with, I keep in touch with. I'm good friends with Orleans Darkwood. He's in a similar situation as I'm in right now. So I was just texting him earlier. And there's a lot of guys on the team I have good relationships with, and everybody's just kind of enjoying their life and doing what they got to do in the off season.
Is it a little surreal how quickly it goes, just from where you were in the draft and now you're getting ready to hit free agency?
Yeah, it went by freaking fast, and some days it felt slow, but now I look back and I'm like, time flew.
What's the difference from when you first came into the league up until now?
I would say the biggest difference is just, I know I belong and I'm comfortable, and now it's like taking the next step.
You promoting anything today, or are you just here talking about yourself?
I'm here promoting the MVP drive from Rogers Athletic. It's a dummy that I think is going to really change the game and make football much safer, but also allow you to really practice tackling in a way that is going to convert to the game. Done are the days where you have to tackle a dummy that's just standing there and doesn't move. Now the dummies can move. So now I can emulate catching a running back catching the ball in the flat, and I have to come up and make a tackle when he tries to juke me. I can emulate that instead of just having a stationary dummy. And I think that's going to be a game changer.
I was talking to Jermichael Finley, and he's doing a lot with concussions and CTE and talking about player safety, and he told me guys right now need to start thinking about what they're doing after their career. And that's tough to do because you're in the now. You're on what you're going to do today, what you're going to do tomorrow, the next play, the next contract. Do you think about what you'll do outside of football? Because I will say, a lot of guests come down here. You could be a broadcaster, I have a feeling, just the way that you're speaking to us right now.
No, I definitely see that in my future. I'm interested in broadcasting, TV, radio. That's definitely, the route I want to take, and I'm starting to build towards that now.
Well, Devon, we appreciate it. Thanks so much. He's Devon Kennard. We'll take a quick break. Be back right after this on the Zach Gelb Show, Fox Sports 920 The Jersey.